my name is Miss Allie and welcome to this week's First Chapter Fridays. Today we are going to be looking into a book called Over the Moon by Natalie Lloyd. This is a fantasy type novel about 12-year-old Mally who isn't entirely happy with her life. In the village she lives in called Coldtop, everybody is expected to follow certain roles. Boys go live in the mines, girls go to become servants down below for all of the richer families. But being that she's not happy with her life, she jumps at the chance to win a competition to train a flying horse to go catch stardust, which used to make the world a much happier place. She thinks this is the best way to start a new life, to find all kinds of adventures, until she starts uncovering secrets that are dark and terrible and impact everybody and those around her. So she needs to figure out what she's going to do if she's able to help everybody, and this is her adventure. So let's start with Chapter 1. So Chapter 1, Mally Ramble. Dust flights are trained to sense explosions in the down below. Honeysuckle is my papa's dust flight, a tiny yellow bird they give every miner in Coldtop. When I was a little girl, Honeysuckle brought me heaps of comfort as I watched Papa walk to the mines. I couldn't go with him to the down below, but our brave yellow bird could. She perched like a speck of plump sunshine on his shoulder. She'd coo lullabies in his ear if he got lonely. She could keep him safe. Papa hasn't been down below in more than a year now, but Honeysuckle stays right near him most of the time, until the work whistle blows. That's when she floats down to Windy Valley to find me. Alloo, alloo, Honeysuckle sings against the window. I run to the glass and raise it just a notch. A cool, dusty breeze carries her sweet birdsong into the room. The sound is a hint of home, and for a second, I forget I've been covered in dirt for hours. Honeysuckle snuggles her feathery face against the pane. I'm hurrying, I promise her, and she sings a chirpy tune to help me speed up cleaning Miss Tumbrel's floors. That's one of the reasons all the miners get a dust flight when they start work in the down below. Their sweet presents help you work faster. Here's another. The birds can warn the miners if they've gone too deep, or if they're about to find gold. Not that anybody finds much gold these days. Mostly, I believe the birds are a tactic the Guardians use to get kids to join up young. In a town the color of dust, who wouldn't want a bright yellow bird they can take home every day? I stretch my stiff neck and hear a cluster of pops. The fingers on my left hand are clenched in cold rags, so I stretch them straight, slowly, one by one. My hand will stay that way eventually, bent and clawed like I'm always clutching rags. Old maid's grip, mountain people call it. Honeysuckle taps the glass lightly with her beak, her way of telling me it's time to get out of my slop pile and get up on the mountain. My mountain. If I miss the train, I'll have to walk to the top. I did that once and I will never do it again. For as long as I've been alive and breathing, I've heard stories about monsters who roam the woods at night. I used to think our parents made it all up just so we'd stay close to home. Now I know better. Still, sometimes I wonder if walking through the monster woods is any worse than being around valley people. They can be monstrous too. Those snooty folks who want their floors cleaned and toilets scrubbed and powder cakes made just so. Just so. I stand, balance the bucket full of filthy water in the crook of my right arm, and haul it back to the kitchen, careful not to slosh it over the newly polished wood. My right arm ends just below my elbow, but I've never had a problem getting things done one-handed. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I think it'd be nice to have two grippy hands, especially when it comes to opening stuck windows. Braiding hair faster, carrying this nasty muck bucket around, scrubbing floors might go by a little quicker, maybe, but it doesn't matter much. I was born this way, so I'm used to it. And besides, I'm a fast worker. I check my pop snap to make sure it's secure. That's my fake arm, complete with a fake hand that I keep attached to my right elbow when I'm working in the valley. This way you'll blend in, the valley doctor told me. It's a universal color that fits everybody. Thing is, pop snaps only come in pale orange. I've met all kinds of people who look all kinds of different ways, but I've never met a soul who's orange. I spin around quickly when the front door squeals open. This is payday, and there's nothing that makes me prouder than giving my family the money I've earned for all of us. Papa, Mama, and my little brother, Denver. We need this more than ever today. We have to have this today. Money's not just running low for us Rambles, our money has flat run out. The front door slams shut, and 4 kids, wild as mountain chickens, run screaming across the floor I just mopped. I lurch forward and nearly yell, "Quit it!" But the words gob up inside me. Be gentle. Mama always tells me, be gentle in the valley. That's her polite way of telling me not to get so fired up down here. Not to argue, not to disobey. And I get it. I'm all the income my family has right now. I have to keep this job. So I clutch my apron, bite my tongue, and watch the ruckus. The tumbril kids stop red clay clusters and clots of grass all over my handiwork. Their mother, Mrs. Tumbril, saunters through behind them, bracelets jangling. She clutches her velvet skirt and lifts it, trying to avoid her offspring's sploshy patch of yuck. She snarls at the mess on the floor. Then she looks at my right elbow, at my pop snap. I worry you aren't capable of the work, Mally, she says with a sigh of fake concern. Finding another mountain girl might be best for us both. Perhaps you'd be better suited for other chores. No, I'm perfectly capable. I try to sound calm and submissive. Gentle, like Mama says. But I'm not a gentle soul. I'm still learning many things about myself, but I already know this much. I'm wild and brave on the inside, a fire popper in a glass jar. Some days I can't help but spark a little. Some days my heart is a raging fire. Don't misunderstand me, sweetie. You are an inspiration. I bite my tongue so hard I wonder if it might fall off. Mrs. Tumbril knows only 2 things about me. My name, Mally Ramble, and that I have a pop snap where part of my right arm should be. Neither of those things makes me inspirational. She's only saying this because my arm looks different from hers. That is called pity. And pity feels like an insult. Words leap off my tongue before I can cage them. If your children hadn't what? One black-inked eyebrow arches at me. I gulp, trapping the words I really want to speak back down in my heart. They must not have realized I'd just finished these floors. They tracked mud all over the place. She cocks her head at me, thinking, does she really not believe I'm capable of scrubbing a stupid floor? She saunters close enough to peer down her long, regal nose at me. I'll keep an eye on you, Mally, because I am a good woman. But some advice. Having high spirits will make it hard for you to find another employer, and you already have your loss working against you. She glances at my right arm and clears her throat. She's always looking at my pop snap, just flat out staring at it. I get having a little bit of curiosity about people. I'm a curious soul myself, but she can't even make eye contact with me. Sometimes I imagine pulling it off and throwing it at her so she can have a good long look and be done with it. Here now, for your work. She drops 2 feathers worth in my hand. That's only 2 days' wages. She hasn't paid me in a week. Mrs. Tumbril, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but this is the wrong amount. I decide what you earn. Remember that before you unleash your temper again. And anyway, these are hard times. Mrs. Tumbril flutters her eyelashes dramatically. They look like little ink bats flapping over her eyes, because I see the velvet bags of goods she brings in every day. The new dresses she wears, it's not that the Tumbrils don't have enough money. They just don't feel like paying me. But the words, yes ma'am, float out of my mouth. And the coins make a dull jangling sound when I drop them in my apron pocket. Finish this before you leave, she says dismissively, waving at the floors as she walks away. No time to grumble, so I lean into the day. Bucket refilled, knees grounded. Lean in, Mally, lean in. Finish strong, finish proud. I don't see the shiny brown boots of my enemy until they're right in front of me, tracking more sloshy lines of mud and crud across the floor. And that is the end of chapter 1 of Over the Moon. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it and you would like to read more, feel free to find it on our catalog, and we can hopefully see you soon.